This is the injury report presented by NYU Langone Health. All right, by now you guys have seen the video of Yankees third baseman Oswaldo Cabrera fracturing his ankle while scoring a run in the Yankees win Monday night out in Seattle. So in today's injury report, we have Dr. Daniel Kaplan, orthopedic surgeon at NYU Langone Health, for his professional opinion on what Cabrera's road to full recovery could look like. Doc, thanks for hopping on with us. We've all seen this injury. We saw the video. We've seen his teammates come out and talk about how great of a guy and teammate that he is. We hate seeing things like that happen to good players and good humans. But Aaron Boone did say that Tuesday's follow-up on that ankle amounted to good news. Looking at that video, there's nothing good about how it looked. So what could be the good news that Boone is referring to?
Yeah, I mean, that looked gruesome. That ankles aren't supposed to spin in that direction. Yeah. That is clearly an ankle fracture, most likely dislocation, which means it's a disruption of both the bone and the ligaments. And so that's a pretty severe injury and one that will take a while and be challenging to come back from. The good news is it sounds like there weren't any other additional injuries. So when you have an injury of that severity level, you can have injuries to things like nerves and arteries that can further complicate that. If you had some sort of transected artery where you that would be a much bigger deal with a much bigger reconstructive procedure. So if it's at least limited to the bones and ligaments, that'll at least help to a degree.
So good news always breeds hope in these type of situations. And Boone did say that Cabrera flew back Tuesday and he met with a specialist on Wednesday. We haven't got any word out of that specialist just yet, but surgery could be a possibility. What does that specialist need to see, or I guess not see, to determine if Cabby needs to go under the knife?
Yeah, I think there's got to be almost no chance he doesn't need surgery for that sort of injury. Is the level of instability that would be required for the ankle to spin in that direction would have to be severe. So to do that almost certainly would mean broken bone. So the bone is what helps stabilize the ankle and keep it in place, as well as the ligaments. I suppose it's possible. We have seen these at trauma centers where it is purely a ligamentous injury. So the bone isn't broken. It's just the ligaments were so torn that it's so unstable that it was able to dislocate that way. Very, very, very rare. Almost certainly there's a fracture or broken bone component to it, which would mean surgery for him.
So what can be an estimated return to action for both Cabrera and a non-professional athlete if they were to get the surgery versus not getting the surgery?
Honestly, for this one, for someone like Cabrera, your guess is as good as mine. The literature is not filled with a lot of studies based on return to play after that severity for someone in his level of sports. For an average person, like if I broke my ankle tomorrow and got surgery the next day, I would probably say you could return to practice and get warm ups around 6 months. Probably expect back to game action between 9 months and a year. For someone who has to compete at the level that Cabrera needs to, I would expect it to be on the longer end of the spectrum. But like we always talk about on these, he gets the benefit of the incredible resources that the Yankees have. So that's the physical therapists, the massages, the nutritionists. So he will have every advantage working for him in getting back sooner. So it's a bit of a toss up, and we'll have to see, but certainly not sooner than probably 9 months.
Doc, real quick, they originally put him on the 10-day IL, knowing that this injury was going to take a lot of time. Like why put him on the 10-day? Just to buy time and to allow him to go see this specialist and get a second opinion?
Yeah, I actually was curious about that when I saw it. So I did my own research just because I was a little surprised. Turns out that's just a procedural note. So you have to put someone on the 10-day and then they're going to be on the 60-day and then they're going to be on a season ending IR is what I learned when I checked that out. So unfortunately, at first I was like, oh, maybe they know something I don't, but don't read too much into that. That's just step one of probably shortly announcing a season-ending injury.
All right, look at you breaking MLB news there, Doc. Huh? All right, thanks for hopping on with this, Doc. It's always fun.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Brandon. That was a pleasure.